What's up, everybody? We back with another video. This one's a little bit different, as y'all can see by the title. A little bit different. Something that I did earlier this year with the Julio Fulio ATA or ATK beef. So yeah, we back react to Publish X for a little bit till I get on others.
A new view of a violent shootout in a parking lot of a
Unless y'all
South
just
Florida
comment
apartment building.
some
The barrage of
for me to
bullets sending
watch.
2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon's Fox.
Lontrell Williams, also known as rapper Pooh Shiesty, will remain in jail for now. Williams was arrested for an incident at a South Florida gentleman's club where he's accused of shooting a security guard. That man...
Police also using these Instagram photos showing Shiesty with an assault-style rifle and cash as part of their case. They say the shooting came...
Man, me and my homeboys, or a few of us, always ask them dudes, or just some people in general, free Pooh Shiesty or bring Big Scar back, bro. I'm saying bring Big Scar back, bro. Big Scar was different than Pooh Shiesty. I ain't saying Pooh Shiesty ain't good, or like he ain't him, but in my opinion, I like Big Scar a lot more. Big Scar, Pooh Shiesty make like club music. I don't know. Big Scar just hit.
Lontrell Williams Jr. was born November 8, 1999 in Memphis, Tennessee. The murder rate in Memphis has gone up every year.
Man, Publish X commented on my video earlier this year, bro. I love how Publish X make his videos, bro. It's like the ambient background music or instrumental. Then it's just like how the whole video be going. Like I like if Publish X watching this again, bro. I like your video. I love him.
Year for the past 5 years straight, ranking it one of the worst cities in the United States.
Keep it up, Publish
specifically
X.
being raised in the Cane Creek apartments on the south side, a place that's no stranger to poverty and violence. Lontrell grew up with both parents, but was exceptionally close with his dad, who was known as Mob Boss. His dad didn't earn that name for nothing, and he was a known gang member in Memphis, and the founder of the record label Mob Ties. Mom, on the other hand, was more the nurturing kind, and gave Lontrell the nickname Mr. Pooh at a young age. Pooh being heavily influenced by his environment, he watched his dad gain status in the streets. He looked up to him like an OG or a brother, rather than his father. Mob Boss would take Pooh to the studio with him when he was young, but he was more interested in playing ball than ever rapping. Attending Hamilton Middle School, he joined the 6th grade basketball team and had hoop dreams he planned on achieving one day. This didn't last long though, as his behavior wasn't focused around school, but rather being as bad as possible. He stopped showing up to practice and was kicked out of school so many times there was no way the coach would let him play. While his focus was shifting more and more to what the streets of Memphis had to offer, his dad was also making plays. The Mob Ties label was making moves in the city with their artist named Miscellaneous, but the hip-hop scene in Memphis had been split, causing beef between rappers for almost 20 years. Miscellaneous had problems with Yo Gotti, who was also on the rise at the time, leading to a confrontation in a club in 2006 where shots were fired.
Bitches like a high speed, you know all the gangsta shit inside me. I'm out there walking out, and I ain't sleep. She pop me yellow beads,
3 people were either hurt or killed during the altercation, putting Mob Tie's biggest artist behind bars and getting Pooh's dad supervised parole. While on parole, his dad was forced to grind in the streets even more for money, now that Miscellaneous was gone. Although he thought he was moving under the radar, the cops...
Man, bro, I still hate that Big Scar died. I don't know. Pooh Shiesty music is good. Like, ain't they freeing Pooh Shiesty in like what, 2027, 2030, sometime like that? I don't know if rap is I don't know, cause I even said Bobby Smurda whenever he got out. I thought this dude was gonna be dropping some bangers, bro. That music was trash. Bobby Smurda just pretty much an internet persona, and hopefully Pooh Shiesty can come back like Finesse 2 times. I don't know. New York rap ain't even all that anyways nowadays. Like the 90s, 80s New York rap, fine. Nowadays, that stuff garbage.
were already monitoring the trap house he and his crew operated at for months. Eventually, police made a move on the abandoned building, busting
in
down the
Memphis,
door.
I ain't gonna lie, Memphis don't get enough notoriety as far as like everybody think of like Atlanta, Florida, Houston. Memphis really don't get like enough recognition.
while mob boss
really
and a few
don't.
others were inside. Some of them ran and jumped out the window, but Pooh's dad was caught in the kitchen before he could make a move. Police found substantial amounts of weed, cocaine, and $10,000 cash in the building. With his dad now serving time in federal prison, Pooh was unsupervised and he could now engulf in the street life. At age 11, he spent 4 months in juvie and was forced to wear an ankle monitor, but this wasn't enough to scare him. Fighting, robbing, and finessing people, he gained the rest of his nickname. His friends now called him Pooh Shiesty.
Once again, I'm locked in MTV with
By high school, his reputation was becoming known. He and a few friends from Central High in the neighborhood clicked up to form their own group. They called it Choppa Gang. The crew would often freestyle to each other in the lunchroom and on the block, but Pooh still had no interest in taking it seriously. He turned heartless after losing his close friend Trey Day, and this only fueled his anger more. The group started growing, and its reputation with it. This wasn't just a group of high school kids though. Some of its members were catching cases and bodies. When Pooh was 17, he and his mom relocated to Texas in hopes of a better future. Remembering everything his dad taught him, it was easy for him to blend in and adapt to the new environment, but he was still Choppa Gang at heart. They stayed in Texas for a little over a year, but inevitably needed to move back to Memphis. Despite his disinterest in school, he kept his head down, attended summer school and online classes so he could graduate high.
Man, Houston just as bad as, well, I ain't gonna. I don't know, it depends on which part of Texas. Texas is just about as bad as Memphis, dog.
High school on time. But once high school was over, the hustle continued, and he reunited with his gang. The more involved they got, the more problems they had to deal with. But to them, it was all worth it for the cash they were bringing in. They used this cash to further their brand. One of the ways they did this was investing in studio time, where Pooh, Big 30, Choppa T, and other members all started recording tracks. They didn't think much of it at the time, but with their names becoming popular in the hood, of course Memphis showed love. Pooh's first verse was a feature on the song Weak Ass Bitch, a remix to Memphis Legends' 3 6 Mafia. The song blew up in the city in 2018 with over 100,000 plays, and became somewhat of an anthem for the neighborhood. He followed this up with a few more songs going into 2019, demanding respect as he and Choppa Gang were starting to get huge exposure throughout Memphis. Like most rappers who really come from what they rap about, the music was taking off immediately. Other Memphis rappers such as Blockboy JB would also collab with Pooh and Big 30, co-signing the movement. This, along with Pooh dropping underground hits like Shiesty Summer, would keep the momentum.
Blockboy JB fell off so hard. Bruh, I remember Rover when that mug first came out when I was in high school. Blockboy JB. But I always said, like, I mean, maybe some rappers got it up in their heart to, like, want to do it. But I feel like you should just get as much money as you need to. Leave that, which a lot of them, they do leave their street life alone. They still just be saying they be living street life. For music sales, I guess. But get what you can get, bro, and get out.
I'm going into 2019.
Yeah, ain't no sense in rapping about the same stuff you
popular
used to,
producer
dog.
K. Keith reached out. He produced a few tracks for Pooh, and his wordplay and delivery was almost perfected by now. He dropped Main's line in March and deservingly was getting recognition. This would catch the attention of Gucci Mane in Atlanta, who DM'd Pooh on Instagram that night at 3 a.m.
3, 4 in the morning. Look at my phone. I pushed something out on me. I said, look at my phone again. He texted me again. Like,
Pooh was in bed with the female, but left immediately back home to show his dad, who was finally home from prison. Pooh and Gucci talked for hours on the phone and came up with a game plan. Gucci saw a little bit of himself in him, and he knew he could take his career to the next level. The announcement alone.
All the Gucci artists done died. Bruh. Enchanting ain't made music in so long, and then Big Scar Dog, like, that's some punk stuff, how Gucci Mane wanted his little chain back, Big Scar Dog, after he died. To me, that's really messed up, though. It's like, bro, like, let his mama keep that or something, like. I don't even think Big Scar even owned his masters. His mama should have at least got to keep paying it. Then on top of that, bro, it's like, this man is dead, dog. Why you want your chain back so bad, as if he stole it?
Alone of Pooh signing to 1017 brought mainstream attention to his name. This was a big deal to sign
Gucci
with
Mane need to end
to
1017, bro.
Most up-and-coming rappers in the city only have two options: sign a Yo Gotti CMG or sign a Young Dolph's Paper Route Empire, as they have divided Memphis for years. Pooh wanted Choppa Gang to become just as big so he can become a third option. Everything he released from here on out would do millions of plays as his name spread across the country. Shiesty and Choppa Gang were the biggest group coming out of Memphis, with multiple artists getting signed, not just Pooh. On the surface, things were looking good musically, but he was still heavy in the streets. With all the attention they were getting, it's no secret other Memphis gangs were envious.
I'm not a rap, alright? If y'all think this on some rap beef shit or we rapping or going back and forth, I'm through. I retire. I ain't making no more songs. I'm not a rapper, bro.
Dude said I'm not a rapper, bro.
Pooh and a rapper named Big Boogie from the north started beefing, but Pooh claimed he had pulled up on Boogie and pressed him about the issues. Nonetheless, this didn't solve anything and only escalated it. Only a few days later, Boogie's concert was shot up and caused 2 deaths, one being a female who was good friends with Boogie and on stage with him at the time. This back and forth would go on for months as Pooh's name was getting bigger, along with the target on his back. While in Miami, he was involved in a shooting/robbery in a parking lot after trying to buy weed and designer shoes. He wasn't hurt though, and he sped off in a McLaren and left Florida in a private jet, avoiding his arrest. Like nothing happened, he was indifferent.
Bro, that video was so funny. I watched it whenever it happened, bro. That video was so... He didn't even shoot dude in the back. Shot his butt cheek. That video funny,
selling
dog.
out back-to-back shows. On one of his trips to Atlanta, he booked a session at a popular studio where mainstream artists recorded at. It was here that he exchanged numbers with Lil Durk. The two met up again at the same studio a week later by coincidence. Pooh recorded a verse that night and walked it over to the other room where Durk was recording. Sources say only 5 minutes later, Durk completed the song, and they titled it Back in Blood. The audio was released online, and as we know it, this can be credited to bringing Pooh in front of the mainstream. The song was catchy.
Man, Back in Blood was... Everyone was playing this, bro. Back in Blood got burnt out so fast to me, dog. Like, even with Roddy Ricch's, you know, like the Black and White album, bro. That whole album got burnt out to me so fast. Like, Hotbox, whatever it was called, whenever that song came out, bro, I'm listening to it. Next thing I know, dog, it's playing everywhere. I'm like, bro, people burn songs out so fast. Like, Back in Blood done got burnt out so fast.
Up-tempo, but the lyrics behind it went over a lot of average listeners' heads. Pooh's ops, EBG, didn't take a liking to the song, and they would release their own remix to Back in Blood in response.
Ain't nobody
EBG
listening to
wore
that.
Choppa Gang killer hoodies in the video.
Ain't nobody listening to
some
that.
of Choppa Gang and EBG went to the same high school together. Pooh responded on Instagram, mocking them for the fact that he never even had to name drop their gang to get views, and he said he would drop the Back in Blood music video the next morning. After the video came out, the song only became more popular, and with copyright issues, EBG's version was taken down. Pooh clearly was making his ops look dumb, as the whole country was now singing the lyrics to his song. The main rapper from EBG...
Bro, that gotta be so embarrassing. You try to retaliate back with your own little rap. Just for YouTube to take that bug down. Cause of copyright.
was shot in the arm.
That's
They
funny.
said this was retaliation for the diss records he had been putting out. He survived the attempted killing, but it was clear Pooh was willing to risk his entire career in order to stay real. It can be hard to leave the street mentality behind, despite making it off the streets of Memphis and into a mainstream rap career. It's a double-edged sword because it's fake to rap about it, but not be about it, and Pooh made that clear. He released his debut mixtape, Shiesty Season, which had the whole industry co-signing him. There's no question he was about to
Shiesty
take his
Season was
career
fire,
to even
bro.
new heights. Only 6 months after releasing his biggest song, he was being considered a frontrunner in the industry. While this is happening, Pooh was under investigation for the shooting in Miami the year before. Police were building a case against him after a bag filled with cash fell out of his McLaren the day of the shooting. They ended up matching the serial numbers of a $100 bill to one Pooh had posted on Instagram. With enough evidence to warrant his arrest, Shiesty was being forced to turn himself in. Despite the warnings of friends and people around him, Pooh is now potentially facing life in prison. He's being held with no bond until his court date later this month, leaving the future of his rap career in question.
got something special, take advantage of it. Don't disrespect your blessings and position yourself so you can position your family on the next level. Fuck right now. The chains and jewelry, that's cool. All that shit cool.
Right.
The chicks that's on your dick, everybody, oh, Pooh, yeah, that shit cool. Let something happen to you.
But all right, y'all. See y'all up in the next video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Peace.